So the next step will be getting your fingerprints done. All right. So what FREC requires fingerprints of all applicants. So you want to go ahead and get your background check, your fingerprints, things like that. You do that through live scan. And it's good for 30 days. So once you go ahead and, apply for it or get it or pay for it, is good for 30 days. Don't wait 5 months, a year. I know a student that did it last December, and then she went there and they were like, your thing expired. She went there like a whole year later and it expired. So you want to go ahead and make sure that you get this done. And when you get this done, you want to do it within 30 days of getting it done, but you don't want to wait too long. Okay. You must submit your fingerprints at least 5 days before submitting your application, and your application will be considered incomplete if you go ahead and do your application before they receive the fingerprints. Okay. So let me make sure. Can you guys see me here? Wave at me. Okay, great. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start the questions. I just started recording, so if you guys missed it and unable to see this or have to leave early, it's okay. It will be recorded. I will upload it for you guys. All right, so let's get into it. So these are questions that you must know to pass. These are some questions that you will see on the exam. I have seen this on the exam. I had students that seen this on the exam, came back and said everything that you put up there was up there. So these are things that, one, you just want to remember, or either two, they're things that it's just going to be there, and it's but so many ways that it can be worded that you will still see that this is the answer and the answer to it. Okay, so these are the ones that you need. You guys ready? Okay, I see all your hands going up. Love the hearts. Thank you. All right, let's get started. And stop me at any time if you guys have any questions. I'm going to continue to view the chat and things like that. All right, so the first question is, if you are at a point of beginning and you are headed north 90 degrees, what direction are you headed? And I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to give you guys time to answer, to think about it. Oh gosh, you guys answering fast. Good, Mia. Good. Yep. You guys got it. You move pretty fast. Think about it, guys. Good. All right. Most of you guys are answering, and you're answering pretty fast. I'm going to go ahead and give you the answer. East. Okay. So if you do a full 90 degrees, it still would end up being east. Majority of the time when you see east here, it end up calculating to that. But if you do a full 90, you're still end up back at east. So east is where it is. That is the answer. Very good. Correct. And then guys, know where the map is. Know your north, south, east, west. But yes, that is correct. So POB, if you see that, that is beginning point. And the answer for this is east. Again, some of these questions, you just kind of want to know it or memorize it because it's just going to be there and they're going to do it just like that. And like I said, there's but so many ways that they can change the question, but that will be an answer. It is east. All right. So what about this? Does a blind man qualify to get extra homestead? And if he does qualify, what would that be or what would that not be? So A, no, just 25,000. B, yes, 50,000. C, yes, 5,000. D, 500. And you guys should already know what they qualify for, depend on. Yes, correct. Depending on the price point, it does matter of what it would be. If it will be the 75,000, if it be the 50,000, that is correct. But that has nothing to do. See, we didn't say a price of what the home is. All right. So don't overthink it. A lot of times, guys, when you see these questions, period, you want to remember. I remember recipes. A coach I had, a teacher I had when I first was in real estate, I would say, read the damn question. And that's pretty much what you guys want to do. You want to read the question. Don't overthink it or think too much in it because they're not asking you, they're not giving you a price point. So you shouldn't be saying 75,000 or what's the price point. The question is, does a blind man qualify to get extra homestead? And it's either yes or no. Good job. All right. Can I give you the answer? Okay, it is yes. So a blind man would get $5,000 in addition to whatever his homestead amount would be. All right. And you would know what that amount would be when they would tell you the home is this amount. With this home being this amount, it's either this, or that. But in this case, he is a blind man, so he will get an additional $5,000. Okay. So that is one that you guys would definitely see. All right. What would a sell associates be charged if he took duplicates of listing when he left the brokerage firm and started to work for another company? So really read this question. A lot of times when you guys are reading questions, sometimes you may need to write it down or circle the main part or look at the highlight part. But I'm going to give you a second to answer this question. You're on the right, Patrick, you're on the right track. But really, really look at it. Really look at it. Okay, I see some of the answers coming in. Guess you guys are ready. So the answer is breach of trust. Why is it breach of trust? Can you guys answer in the chat? Let me hear. Why is it breach of trust? Yep. No, Emily. So the part that you need to see in this, it says duplicates. So what this basically means, if I went to the firm and I left and I decided to make copies of all of the things that I had, make duplicates and bring it to my new firm, that will be breach of trust. Okay. It's only like, what does commingling mean? So commingling is when that deals with funds. Okay. Larceny, it would be larceny if it's the original. Okay. So let's go to the next question. So what would a sales associate be charged if he took the original of the listing when he left the brokerage firm and started to work from another company? So the first one was he did duplicates. So if he did duplicates, yes, you are correct. It is breach of contract. But if he did the original copies, he took the original copies, that is hands down larceny. All right. You guys want to know the difference because they may even word it as which one is not, or the main thing is duplicate, original. That's what matters. So original, you went there. I went ahead and took the original copies of the agreement and I took it with me, brought it to the other firm. That is larceny. All right. But I made copies of it. I made duplicates of it. Then that would be breach of trust. Okay. So you guys want to know the difference. Don't get tricked out immediately saying breach of trust. Look at the question and see which one are they asking. Are they asking the original or are they asking duplicates? All right. But good job with that, guys. So with this one, I'm going to give you guys time to answer. Hopefully I'm not in your way, but I'm going to give you time to answer here. Now, this was a long one to read. So concerning the statute of frauds, which does not apply. All right. I see some of you guys' answers in there. I'm assuming that you did not see the question that says not. So that is very true. So here's one thing I want to tell you guys. So if you're unsure of the answer, don't go ahead and answer it immediately. It's going to be times that you don't want to spend so much time on an answer that you're just so unsure of. And there have been studies that show when you go ahead and you change the answer of the question, like you add an answer, right? Okay, I'm going to go with B. And then you say, I'll go back and I'll check this at the end of the test. And then you go back to the, and once you took the test, go back to the answer, you say, okay, I'm gonna change to C. There have been studies that show, like I remember one guy in particular, he scored a 90 on a test. And because he went back, well, he was at a 90, because he went back and changed so many answers, second doubting himself, he ended up getting a 60 and then not pass. So what you want to do, guys, you want to make sure that you are, if you're unsure, or if you're like, I know what's this, I know this question, just skip it. Just skip it, right? Number 11. I got to go back to number 11. And at the top of it, you should be able to put a flag there. So that way you can go back to it. And if you're scared to press next, because I know like with me, I don't like to take a chance and just press next and it's there. I just go back to previous till I get to the question. And then when I press next, I let it tell me, okay, if you miss something, whatever. But I make sure I go answer the question. So my whole point is, what I'm trying to tell you is, you guys want to make sure that just skip it. Just skip the question. If math is not your forte, which I will show you. I will show you how to do the math, how to make it simple. Math was not my thing either. But when you know this one simple trick, it doesn't matter what the question is, you'll be able to know how to plug it in. So we'll get to that. So don't worry about the math, Samantha. We'll get to that part. But when it comes to answering these questions, just skip it. Be okay with skipping it. As you go ahead and go to the next question and answering questions, you may then get your answer. Your answer may be in within questions, or it may remind you and let things click, okay? Then go back and do it. That way, when you pick an answer, it's your answer that you think. And you could be thinking, okay, this is B. But let me go back, go through the rest of the questions. Okay, it is B. It may be C. And then when you finally pick an answer, at least that's your first answer. Because when you guys second guess yourself, a lot of times it's right. And then with a question, these questions are broken down into, you're going to say there's two right answers. And yes, it's going to look like there's two right answers. But with this situation, it says concerning the statute of frauds, which does not apply. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. So here's a prime example of what I'm telling you. I put A. Only reason why it say A is because the question wasn't read. Okay. So if you guys pick A, that would be because the question was not read. The question was concerning the statute of frauds, which does not apply. So A is deed, mortgage, promissory notes, purchase and sales contract, offer contract, lease agreement no longer than 1 year, listing agreement 4, missing an R, longer than 1 year, buyer representation agreement for a term longer than 1 year, must be in writing per statute of frauds. Then the second one is the statute of frauds states that all contracts must be in writing to be enforceable. C says the statute of frauds do not apply to a 3-month listing agreement. And then D is the statute of frauds does not apply to option contracts. So which one does not apply? So when you're thinking about the statute of frauds, you want to think about Dream Oil. All right. Dream Oil is all the ones that applies. So Dream Oil would be deed. All right. It will be the restricted covenants. It will be the agreements. It will be mortgage payments. All right. It'll be option. It'll be lease. So you guys, an installment as well. So you want to remember Dream Oil. Okay. So let's look at it. So it says which one does not apply. So the statute of frauds does not apply to an option contract. The statute of frauds does not apply to a 3-month. The statute of frauds states that all contract must be in writing to be enforceable. The answer for this is what? What is the answer? The answer is, so one of them that does not apply is the statute of frauds states that all contract must be in writing to be enforceable. It must be in writing, but it's not all contracts, because when it goes to 3-month agreements, things like that, less than a year, that matters. The answer to this question that does apply, which is kind of tricky, that does apply would be A does apply. A does apply to it. The statute of frauds does apply to option agreements as well. The statute of frauds does not apply to, so all of these are correct except B. So all of these are correct except B, because all contracts, it's not true. All contracts must not be in writing. Yes, it's contracts, but not all contracts. There are some substitutions to the contract, okay? So I have A here circled because if you immediately look at it, you will say it's A. If you're not reading the question, I just want to show you guys how your mind would just play tricks on you. But it says does not. So the answer to this is what? Yes, it is B. Okay, you guys understand that, right? So you understand, but remember dream oil as well, so that way you know this apply, this apply, this apply. Okay. All right, which of the following is a penalty for a first-time minor violation that is accompanied by a fine? So which one is that? So this one is going to be a flashcard. This is one that you guys just absolutely want to remember. You just absolutely want to know this. This is going to be a notice of noncompliance. So anytime that you see the first time minor violation, immediately know that that is notice of noncompliance. Again, that is just a flashcard that you just want to remember. Not too many ways that that can be worded differently on a test. So remember when you see first time minor that it is non-compliance. All right, let's go. Yep. Good, good, good. I'll give you guys a little more time to think about it before I go ahead and tell you the answer. So let's talk about this. So seller tells single agent J that although we are listing the home for $790,000, I can accept $740,000. Do J. So first off, we see that J is what? What type of agent is J? That is important. J is a single agent. So when you have a single agent, you want to give what? What needs to be given? Fiducial duties. Yes. So with fiducial duties, a best way to remember it, I always say old car. Okay, because old car is like an abbreviation, and we'll get into that shortly, but that's like an abbreviation of how to break down everything that's in the fiducial duty. That way, you know, you owe loyalty, you owe due diligence, all those break down those acronyms and have you remember what a single agent is. So with him being a single agent, this is his client. And although they list the property for $790,000, the seller said that they can accept $740,000. So what do J do? Do J A tell the buyer to send an offer for $740,000? Do he B say we need at least $740,000 in the MLS? Do he C do not accept the $790,000 offer that he received, or do he D do not disclose the $740,000? So the answer would be, now we said that this is a single agent, okay? So you should know that he's given fiducial duties. So with him doing that, the answer would be D, do not disclose the $740,000, because it's his duty and his fiducial duty to be loyal and do not disclose. You don't disclose unlawfully. I'll follow your unlawfully duty. So if this is something that you told me in privacy, this is something that I know, so we know how to negotiate, but therefore it is not up to me to accept an offer for you. It is not up to me to tell anything that you're saying. Now, if it came to something like a material fact and you say, okay, there is a leak. I know there's a leak, but don't tell nobody. I can't do that. I cannot follow your unlawfully duties, unlawfully requests. That is something totally different. Right. Yep, Chris, right. So that is something totally different. So when it comes to that, you want to make sure that that's something you told me. So I'm not going to put that in the MLS and say we at least need to get 740. That's not something that I would do. You use that for negotiation. He's basically stating if he get an offer, we listen for 790, but if it come in 770, I'm not going to say we're going to take the 7070. It's my job as an agent to disclose all offers that come in to my client. Let my client make the final decision. However, I am here to advise and negotiate on my client's behalf. So I'm not going to do tell the buyer to send an offer for 740. Why would I do that? Just because he say he can accept 740. If we have it there, I'm going to say, don't send me the 790. We're not going to accept it. We're just going to do 740. No, I'm not going to do that. I am going to keep my mouth shut, send our offers in, and my client will make the final decision. B, say we need at least 740 in the MLS. I'm not going to disclose that in the MLS. I'm going to keep it at 790, and I'm going to go ahead and just keep everything how it is. C, do not accept the 790. Why wouldn't we accept the 790? If the 790 is there and it has all the terms, again, my seller determines what they will accept. But if it's there, I'm not going to say not do that. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to disclose the 740, and I'm going to let all offers come in, and then we'll advise and negotiate, and my seller will make the final decision then. Okay, so that is important to know. All right, so which of the following clauses or covenant in a deed states that the guarantor owns the property and has the right to convey it? Which one that is? Good. Now, if you guys are getting this one wrong, or if you're getting some of this wrong, you may want to make sure that you're studying and knowing the difference between it. But for the most part, you guys are answering pretty good. But go ahead, think about it. Think about, break down what each one means, what each one is. Happy to have you, Patrick. This is your first time. Okay, happy to have you. So, Patrick, you just took the test. Okay. So Patrick was saying, for those who can't see the question, Patrick was basically saying that he took the test last week, and he wished that he would have seen these things, met with me, seen me prior to, because he said a great bit of this is on the test. And it is. So now you know, at least you know what you missed, and you know, and if you see these now, so I have no doubt that you will go ahead and pass when you take it again. All right, so let's go ahead and do this one. So this one is season. All right, so you want to remember this. This is another flashcard that you just want to remember. It doesn't matter what the other BCD is. You just want to remember, if it says that they own the property and has the right to convey it, it's always going to be season. That could be, it's a season to be jolly. That could be season and salt. I can add my own seasoning because I own it. I'm making it. I convey it. However you guys need to look at it, make a note, screenshot it. Just know season is going to be it. And it doesn't matter what the other ones are. If you know that it's own the property and convey the property, can't transfer the property, it will be season. All right. So what are the possible consequences if a broker negligently or fraudulently furnishes inaccurate and or outdated rental information to a prospective tenant and is compensated for the information? So think about this, guys. Think about it. Really read the question. Read the question. You're on the right track. Jocelyn, you're on the right track. You're on the right track, but just really, really think about it. Okay, I have multiple different answers here. So let's see. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit more time. All right, so to a prospective tenant and is compensated for the information. So A, a broker could be convicted of a misdemeanor of a first defense. B, the prospective tenant could demand a return of only 75% of the fee paid to the broker. C, the Florida Real Estate Commission would be compelled to revoke broker license. Or D, there would be no consequence if the act were purely negligent. So let's look and see process of elimination. Let's look and see which one that we know was absolutely not right. So we know so this is what I was telling you when I said really read the question. Which one was, I think it was Ashley. It wouldn't be B, because when do you guys, just think about it, when do you guys give 75% of a rental back versus giving 100%? Yes. So, okay. So always remember, because this will be a question. If this will be one question and then you have a totally separate question. So if the question was you gave a rental list information and the tenant didn't like none of the properties that was up there, you didn't do anything wrong. They just didn't like it. They didn't like it. They had 30 days to go back to you to go ahead and ask for their money back. All right. So if that's the case, they didn't like it, then that's when you have to give 75% fee back to them. If it's something that was negligent, something was wrong, inaccurate information, then that's when you will give 100% back to them. So that is the difference. They get 75%. So in this case, it wouldn't be B, because it would have to be, they would get 100% back because it was negligent, it was wrong, it was misinformation. So that's how you know that it's not B, Ashley, because it will only be 75% if they just didn't like it. They didn't like it, they didn't pick anything out of it, you didn't do anything wrong. But if you did something wrong, it would be 100%. All right. So in this case, the answer is going to be A. A broker could be convicted of a misdemeanor of the first degree. So this is something, again, that you guys want to remember. I have seen this. It's no other way that this can be worded. So just remember that. So negligence, fraudulent, inaccurate, it could be convicted of a misdemeanor. But when it comes to, I gave a list, they want their full money, do I give their full money? Do I not give their full money? Then that would be a difference between the 75%. If it's not your fault, if it is your fault or something wrong, then it will be 100%. All right. So need help, support. So we do have our onboarding specialist that will walk you through each process and step by step with this entire thing. I know taking this test is stressful. I know some people have asked me what to do next. So if you guys, I do have a great group, a firm, Rawls and Associates. We have an amazing team. We are throughout the world. So, if you guys want to go ahead, and if you're in Dominican Republic, if you're in, your different places, we are here for you. With this particular test is for Florida test. So we can assist you and would love to partner up with you and help you throughout the process. With the support, yes, we will walk you through the entire onboarding process. That is from getting your fingerprints on what to do, to any questions that you need, to I have extra questions on passing the test, to now that I passed the test, because you guys are going to pass. You follow this, pay attention, you guys are going to pass. I passed the test. Now what? Now that you passed the test, we are here to help you, onboard you, get you in the right place, provide support. That's one thing about us. We provide a lot of support. So we provide support. You have unlimited mentor and coaching. Some firms will go ahead and give you 3 mentor transactions, then you're out. You always, for the life, have a mentor there if you need it. And the great thing about it is that it is free. So if you guys have any questions and want to partner up, need support, you're just stuck, you need help on moving forward, on what to go, where to go, what questions to ask other firms, we are here to assist and coach you, and our onboarding team is here and able to assist you. I will say send an email to info@rawlsandassociates.com and they will get back to you at the earliest convenience. All right, cram test. So we do have a cram test. So before we get into the next part of the questions, I just want to go over this. We do have the cram test. So if you guys need the cram test, it is 60 questions. It's must-know math questions that's up there as well. So it's both math and regular questions. Even if you guys are not a math person, we break everything down to you and make it totally easy for you to go ahead and do the math. High passing rate, so it's the rest of the questions that you will see on a test is on the cram test. Today is $39, it's regularly $59 if that's something that you guys want. Also email info@rawlsandassociates.com and in the subject line cram test, and then we will get right back to you with that. All right, round two. But before we get to round two, I want to go ahead and answer some of you guys' questions. So I know you had a question. Let me go back to it for you, Jasmine. All right, so with this one right here, the answer for this was B, does not apply. It was B. And the reason why it was B is because it says all contract must be in writing. And yes, statute of frauds mean must be in writing, but all contracts does not apply. All right. I also told you to do the dream oil. The reason why it says A here, because if you don't read the question, you may immediately say A. So it's kind of like a trick question in a sense to show you what you would do. But the answer to this question is B. All right. Did that answer your question? Okay, good. All right. So, I want to go ahead and break that down for you, go over the acronyms of OCAR and Dream Oil. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop this recording so we can go ahead and go over that. And then I'll be right back for the rest of you guys. I will go ahead and upload this. I'll have round 2 of the next 10 questions that will be up there. So look out for it and check the next video. Next video should be right there somewhere. Just go ahead and check it and you'll be able to see it. I'll definitely make sure I will upload both of them for you. But let me just stop this here so I can answer some of these questions and break this down and do the coaching for everyone that's up here. All right, so.